build your kingdom if I'm building my own? How can you be my treasure if I'm digging for gold? How can you be my fire if my heart has gone cold? How can you be my future if I make this my home? I don't want the world if I don't have you. I don't want it all if it means I lose you. I've tasted and I've seen enough to know it's you I need. I don't want the world if I don't have you. If I don't have you. How can I say I need you and live on my own? How can I say I want you but never come close? How can I say I surrender but never let go? How can I say I love you to someone I don't know? How can I? I don't want the world if I don't have you. I don't want it all if it means I lose you. I've tasted and I've seen enough to know it's you I need. I don't want the world if I don't have you. I give you every failure, every dream, every mountain top. Give you everything I thought of me, nail it to the cross. I leave behind me what is ashes and what will be dust. All I am to you, my God, all else will be lost. 'Cause I don't want the world if I don't have you. I don't want it all if it means I lose you. I've tasted and I've seen enough to know it's you I need. I don't want the world if I don't have you. If I don't have you. If I don't have you. Morning, guys. Hey. Hey, Chris. Everyone's saying hi to you, babe.
Hi.
Say hi to my husband, Chris, before he takes off. Actually, the kids seem pretty okay this morning, but thanks, babe. Good morning, Louise. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Matt. Hey, Blair. Hey, Kristen. Yeah, hi, guys. Hey, Yubi. Hey, Glennis. Everyone's saying, hey, Chris. Chelsea. Hey, Chris. Good morning. Hi. Zoe. Hi. Hey, Chris. Well, he'll be back tonight because tonight is Worship Wednesday. And I think we're going to do it. I don't really exactly, guys, I need to be more organized. But you know what? This season is a little bit disorganized. Am I right? So, hey, Elaine. But we will be doing Worship Wednesday tonight. Probably going to do it, I would guess, around probably 6:37 is when we will be doing that. We'll probably try and get the kids fed and then do it around 6:37. So let's plan for that. Come hang out. Madeline, thank you. This is, it's my jam. It's my shirt lately that goes with everything. You guys probably saw my post yesterday. This shirt is exclusively available through the Kickstarter. So if you guys go to the Kickstarter, you can grab this shirt as part of one of the packages. And it's not on our webpage or anything. It's not on our shop online. It's only on our Kickstarter. So you can go grab it there if you want. This is a small. And I cut it. So not everybody likes to cut their shirts, but I do. I cut them or tie them. I just can't let it just be a normal shirt. I don't know why. I've always been like that. But feel free to go grab one before they're gone, because once they're gone, they're gone. So thank you guys so much for hanging out this morning. Can you play the God I Know? We will definitely, Madeline, play the God I Know tonight at Worship Wednesday for sure. Madeline, can't wait to get my shirt in the mail. Hey, Zig. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Are you gonna sing again?
Am I going to sing again?
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm just going to talk and read the Bible right now.
What?
I'm just going to talk.
Okay.
Okay, bye. Ziggy just needed to check in on Mama. He's so sweet. He always wants to see how I'm doing and check in. Sometimes a little bit more passionately than other times. Mama! The link for the shirt is, so the Kickstarter is, where's the link to the Kickstarter? Someone can throw it up there for me. You guys are so good at helping me with that. But the Kickstarter is, it's just, if you go to Kickstarter.com, you can check it out there. If you go to our YouTube channel or the top of our Instagram page, it's in our bio. And I think there's another 28 days left in the campaign, so 28 days to get the shirt. But this shirt will probably be gone before that. But I think there's still some up there right now. So go grab it if you want one. How about you sing You Got This Tonight? Matt, I will definitely sing You Got This Tonight. I got a whole bunch of requests, and you can keep them coming in all day. We have a bit of time today while the kids nap to try and learn a few songs with you guys. So how's everybody doing? How was your day yesterday? Everyone sleep okay? Yesterday we tried to pack a whole bunch of things into the day. So we wrote a song. Thanks for praying for us for that. And we did a podcast. And today is another work day. So just getting after it. And honestly, every time I look at myself in the mirror, instead of seeing the bags under my eyes, I see my shirt. And I'm like, God, I know that you got me covered today. Everything that I'm about to try and do today, I'm going to do it in your strength and not my own. Isn't it crazy how much of a shift that is? Going like, oh, this is all on my shoulders and I have all this that I have to do today. And you look at your day and you're like, for me, I'm like, we have no childcare. How are we going to do this? This is going to be nuts. But as soon as I step back and go, yeah, it's going to be nuts, but I'm going to do it with a smile on my face because you know what? This is not all on my shoulders. I can just do the best I can with what I've got. And he fills in all the gaps and he anoints it and makes it amazing and lights it up. Like yesterday, our songwriting session, it's like the coolest thing, guys, to start with this little idea, right? You start with this little seed. Usually for me, it's something like that God's taught me or a lesson I've learned or whatever. And so you come in with this song title and you're just like, okay, got a song title, but God, I don't know where this is supposed to go. And it's so mysterious and beautiful how God just makes a song out of our story, isn't it? So incredible. And the more incredible part is then that goes from just being my story to being your story. And I love that so, so, so much. So whatever you're facing today, whatever you're going to try and tackle, just remember it's just not all on your shoulders today. It's not. It's really not. And so I feel like that kind of lets us take a deep breath, right? Breathe in, breathe out. And it's like, okay, God, you know what? I have all these things on my calendar, but I may get to some of them. I may not get to other things. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you feel like you could use a few things on your calendar today and you're coming from it, from that place. Kind of like, God, is this ever going to end? You know, that is also all on his shoulders. And so he is outside of time and he's leading us and he's not going to take us out of our situations. He's going to take us through. He's going to take us through. So, yeah, you can't wait. Yeah, so come hang out tonight. Worship Wednesday. Is the Kickstarter the only way to get the book? Yes. So, Kristen, the only way to grab the book right now is through the Kickstarter. Because I decided to do it independently. So, Chris and I just are going after it ourselves with your help. So, you guys are helping us make this book happen. So, it's not attached to any publishing or it's not attached to our website, any of that stuff. It's just its own thing. So the Kickstarter is the only way. So if somebody wants to throw up the link on Facebook, that would be awesome. So thank you guys. Okay, let's dive into this verse. We are in Galatians this morning. In the message, like always, Galatians, if you want to grab it and track along with me, Someone can throw it up there as well. I posted my verse of the day already, so we're just going to work off that. Galatians 2, verses 19 to 21 is where we're going from today. So let's just pray. God, you're so awesome. Even when my life doesn't feel awesome, even when I feel like I am far from awesome and I'm not really nailing the day and I'm not really feeling like, for me, sometimes I feel like when I'm not accomplishing what I want to, I feel like a failure, but that's not the way that you see it. That's not the way that you see it. And so thank you for accomplishing your work in us. That's what you're really after, is accomplishing your work within us. It's not about what we're accomplishing in the world even as much as it is you doing your work, accomplishing your work of making us more like you internally. Because if our internal world is right with you and you're molding and making us and shaping us, then our external world is going to reflect that, God. May we be reminded, even while my kids are screaming in the background and Chris is trying to hold it all together, God, just remind us that it's really not about what we do, but it's about what you are doing in us. That's where it all starts. If I don't have you working and remaking me, then I've got nothing. I've got nothing to share in my morning devos. I've got nothing to post on Instagram. I've got nothing to post on Facebook. I've got no videos to make. I've got no songs to write. God, if my internal world is not based upon you and being fueled by you, then there's no fuel in the tank. That's like the basics of it, God. And so this morning, I just pray for every person out there who feels like either they're accomplishing nothing in this quarantine, and that's the lie they're telling themselves, that this is just wasting time, and they had momentum, and they maybe just started a new job, or like us, just made a book and an album and merch, and now it's sitting in the trailer, and just believing the lie that this time is being wasted, and this time is being, like there's nothing being accomplished in it. Would you replace that lie with the truth that you are accomplishing your work within us? And that is the starting place for everything. And for my friends that feel just like they're so sad that they're just sort of on the couch and they've ditched all their routines and they just cannot get themselves to just, it's the opposite of accomplishing. It's people that are feeling like they just are going lower and lower, and that they're forgetting that this is going to end, and forgetting that you're a healer, forgetting that you're a comforter, forgetting that you can give them what they need for today. Would you just replace that and just remind them that you are what they need, and that they can have a skip in their step again. Just getting out of bed, they can have hope again just by meeting you in a personal way today, God. You can be what they need today. So everyone on the front lines, doctors, nurses, caregivers, everybody that's getting up and going to the front lines today, God, would you just equip them in a fresh way? Would something hit their ears, either in a podcast or in a song, or someone would say something that would just, you would work through someone in their life. God, we are your plan A. You use us to accomplish your work on the earth. You use us. So would we all be so encouraged by that today, God, that you want to use us to do your thing in the world today, whether that's smiling at a neighbor, sending a text prayer to a friend, hanging out with your grandma who's in the hospital on FaceTime for a couple minutes. God, there are so many things you want to accomplish through us today, even though we can't be physically present. You are not physical form with us, but you are with us. You are so close. You're closer than a brother. Even though you're not physically sitting beside me, God, your presence is here. That's what you want to show us, that we can love without physically being there. We can do so much through you in this time to accomplish your work on the earth. So we love you so much. Amen. Okay. Whew. Got lost in my own prayer there for a second, guys. Are you still with me? Everyone's still there? I kind of lost all your comments, but I'm just trusting that you're still here with me. And you know what? That's what today's verse is all about. So it is so much less about accomplishing works and so much more about letting him accomplish his work within us. Does that connect with you this morning? I don't know about you, but whether you are a mom at home in this season with your kids, whether you're a dad who your job is put on hold right now and you're at home with your family and that is weird and new, whether you are a worship leader that cannot get to church to lead worship, you're doing it online, or you're just home, so many of the things that we get worth from in our life is put on hold right now, right? So many of those things are put on hold. Or maybe you're on the front lines and you're out there and you're doing. Your job is an essential service and you're going so hard and trying to keep up the strength that you're forgetting that God is wanting to accomplish his work within you to give you the strength to go out and do your job. Wherever you're coming from today as we meet here, because we all come together on this Devo from different places, different stories, different steps along the journey, close to God, feeling far away from God, in the middle somewhere, numb or lit up, joyful, depressed. We all come and he wants to accomplish his work within us. That is what gives us worth, is his work within us, his identity within us. It's not, our worth doesn't come from what we do. It comes from what he is doing in us. It's from what he has already done. So I just pray that you get so much comfort in that today, that it is not about what you accomplish during this quarantine. It is not about what you don't get accomplished off your to-do list on this quarantine. It is about him accomplishing his work within you, making you more like him. Because the more like him we are, the more we look like him in the world, the more he accomplishes his work through us in the world. Just let that sink in for a second. The more like him you are from spending time with him, being in that quiet place with him, hearing from him, getting to know his voice, letting him change you from the inside out, the more like him we become, the more we affect the world for him, for his kingdom. How can I build your kingdom if I'm building my own? If all we're working on is accomplishing our kingdom, our to-do list, our goals, our dreams, me, and we're not stopping to consider what he's actually doing in us and where he's calling us to go, it's all about building our kingdom. But if we focus on building his kingdom, it looks like him accomplishing his work in us first. So I just want you to see this maybe as a shift in the middle of week 5 of quarantine or whatever we're on, that maybe up till now you've been frustrated that you haven't been able to accomplish things, or maybe you have been accomplishing a lot, but you're just worn out because your job has been needed and you're worn out. I just want to remind you that all of the good stuff starts inside. It starts with him doing his work within us, accomplishing his work in and through us, so we can go out when this is done, or you can go back out as a doctor or a nurse or a mailman or a mailwoman or a bus driver, whatever your essential service is. You can go out with a skip in your step, knowing that he is doing his work within you, fueling you for your day. It's not on your shoulders. And so I think that's what this verse in Galatians is really getting after today. So I'm going to start Galatians 2, verse 19. Just back up a little bit. What actually took place is this. I tried keeping rules, working my head off to please God, and it didn't work. So I quit being a lawman and a lawwoman so that I could be God's man, God's woman. Christ's life showed me how and enabled me to do it. I identified myself completely in him. I'm not Jody the artist, Jody the mom, Jody the wife, Jody the singer, Jody the speaker. I'm Jody, his son, and if I am connected to him, everything else is just an overflow, an overflow, an overflow.
Hi, Mama.
Hey, Zig. I identify myself completely with him. Indeed, I have been crucified with Christ. My ego is no longer central. It is no longer important that I appear righteous before you, or that you guys have a good opinion about me. It's no longer important. I am no longer driven to impress God. Christ lives in me. The life you see me living is not mine, but it is lived by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. I'm not going back on that. Thank you, Ziggy. So I just feel like there's so much there, but the part that I wanted to focus on is, oh, sorry, I have to keep going. So into verse 21. Galatians 2:21. Is it not clear to you that to go back on that old rule-keeping, peer-pleasing, religious would be an abandonment of everything personal and free in my relationship with God? I refuse to do that. Let's read that again. Is it not clear to you that to go back to that old rule-keeping, peer-pleasing, religion way of living would be an abandonment of everything personal and free in my relationship with God? People pleasing, trying to please God, rule keeping, trying to accomplish things, keeping the rules, trying to look good, all of that stuff, all of the external things that want to make us feel like we're worth something sometimes, those things are just not where it's at, guys. It's not where it's at. It's really hard to remember that because our world is built on accomplishment. And it is good to steward what you've got for sure. But the starting place has to be Christ's work in us. Him working in and through us to accomplish what he wants to accomplish in and through us in the world. Here's the thing. If all you're doing right now in this quarantine is following other people's Instagrams and tracking with their life and trying to copy someone else's life or keep up with someone else's life, and you're kind of going down a rabbit hole of comparison, then you're going to miss what the Lord is wanting to do in and through you in this season. This season is a gift, guys. When are we ever going to get to just be home with our families or by ourselves with the Lord is the one thing that we all have in common in this season. And I feel like this is a season, if we can be courageous enough to let him work in us and rearrange us on the inside, then when we go back to living in the outside world, we're going to be different people. We're going to be transformed. We're going to be all about his work and not as much about our work. Because it's a real little shift, right? Like today, I'm going into a writing session and a podcast. I'm speaking on a radio show. Those things, if I go into it trying to just like do it in my strength and accomplish, I want everyone to know about Jody and loving the outcome. There's no kingdom fruit in that, but I can still do those exact same things on my plate today with a kingdom focus, going, God. And it doesn't take much, right? It's just a shift of going, God, you take it. You take it. You got this. You take it. You remind me 5 minutes before this call. Sometimes that's all I've got to go, God, remind me of what you've been doing in my heart. May that be what bubbles onto the surface. Remind me of what you've been doing inside of me so that could come out. Because it's all about you. It's all about this season at home being a chance to let him do a work within us. Because sometimes we're too busy to stop and focus on what's really important. Because let me tell you something, for me in my life, the urgent things that do this right now, you have to do this, those emails that come in, those phone calls, urgent, are so rarely the most important things. The most important thing is being right with him and letting him accomplish his work within me. That's the most important thing. The urgent to-do list things and the better get this done or we're never going to make this deadline, that stuff, that's never as important as what he's accomplishing within us. So today, wherever you're at, whatever your perspective is, I pray it would shift from accomplishing what you can do in your strength to God, you've got this. And I want, you have full reign of my heart and my soul in this season. Could you do your work within me? Could you transform me from the inside out? Can you remind me of what you're up to? Because you have a specific call. When we are comparing all the time, we can't even see what he's calling us to. When we're constantly comparing ourselves to what she's doing or what he's doing, or, oh man, like, they're doing so good over there. Their family looks like they have it all together. And, oh, look at her boyfriend, or look at that marriage. When we're just comparing all the time, then we can't really focus on what he's calling us to. It's like we're hearing the voices of everybody else louder than his. And it's a reminder, this season can be so beautiful. I'm loving the chance to just seriously pause and stop and let him do a work within me and rearrange me from the inside out. So don't get distracted when you have access to so much right now on your phone and on your computer and Netflix and all these different things. Those aren't bad things in and of themselves at all. In fact, they can be inspirational tools. That's the way that's how I look at our social media, is a chance to hopefully like inspire you guys. But inspiration can turn to expectation really quick if we're not careful. The things we're being inspired by all of a sudden are what we're expecting ourselves to be like as well. Like, oh, I'm so inspired by her page. It's so awesome. Well, I should try and be the same. It's like, no, don't worry about being the same as anybody else, especially in this season. Make sure that you're digging into him. Don't focus on comparing yourself to others, everybody else's voices, everyone else's social media feeds. Just focus on what he's calling you to. Just focus on him calling you close. Maybe it's not even about what he's calling you to do. It's about him calling you close to his heart so you can know him deeper and closer in this season, and that he can start to accomplish his work within you, which is the most important work of all. Nothing else in our life is going to have fruit if we're not letting him rearrange us from the inside out. So internal over external, big time in this season, right? And for me too, like these devotions, guys, right now I have time to do this because we're home together and it's special. And I don't think I'll be able to do it forever, but I'm loving doing it. But it has to be coming from a place of overflow, from what he's accomplishing inside of me, flowing outside of me to you guys. And the day that it starts to like flip flop and I'm just feeling like I have to do this in my own strength is the day that I probably have to take a break, right? And so, yeah, anyway, just a reminder. Hope that speaks to you today. You're not in this alone, it's not on your shoulders. You don't have to worry about what you're accomplishing in this season, it can look different. You don't also have to worry about having strength to keep it up if you're on the front lines. Let him be your strength and go to bed early. We are praying for you if that's you. So just remember, let him accomplish his work in you so you can go out into the world and accomplish building his kingdom the way he wants you to do it. So love you guys so much. Can't wait to see you tonight. It's going to be awesome. Worship Wednesday. Let's aim for 6:30, 7 o'clock, and sometime in that window. And we'll probably have our kids with us. So if you have your kids with you too, that's awesome. It can be a dance party. And just tag us. Maybe tag Worship Wednesday, tag Love in the Outcome Worship Wednesday or something. And so we can see your posts about you guys having a dance party tonight. So thank you guys. Glad this was a blessing. Hope. Laura, thank you so much for hanging in, Matt. I'm glad you loved it. Patricia, thanks so much, guys. Thanks, Linda. Thanks, Highway to Heaven on YouTube. Serenity. Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks, Max. We love you guys too. And have a great day. We'll see you later on tonight. Bye, guys.